Hi everyone, this is Janine the Tutor, your favorite math and science coach. Let's get better grades in less time, shall we? In this video, I will help you break down step by step on how to find your limiting reactant, because a lot of my students tend to struggle on this question during the test. So if you don't want to struggle, please keep on watching. You have silver sulfide, the tarnish on silverware, which comes from the reaction of silver metal with hydrogen sulfide, and you need to balance the equation. So typically what I tell my students to do as the first step is to write down all of your elements and make a tally based on the left side of your reaction and also on the right side. So you have silver, you have hydrogen, you have sulfur, and you have oxygen. So on the left side of your reaction, you have 1 atom of silver, and on the right side, you have 2. So for hydrogen, you have 2 on the left, and there's 2 on the right. For sulfur, you have 1 on the left, and you have 1 on the right. For oxygen, you have 2 on the left, and you have 1 on the right. We always balance oxygen last. Therefore, we see that silver is unbalanced, so we can go ahead and balance silver first. So we turn this into 2. So we simply add a coefficient of 2 in front of silver on the left side of your reaction. Now we can go ahead and balance oxygen, turning this into 2 on the right side of your reaction. We add a coefficient of 2 in front of water, making oxygen 2 on the right side. As a result, you get 4 for hydrogen on the right side. And on the left side, since we see that hydrogen is now 2, you need to add 2 as a coefficient in front of hydrogen sulfide, making hydrogen 4 on the left side. As a result, we see that sulfur is now 2 on the left side. So we need to balance sulfur on the right side, and we do that by adding 2 in front of silver sulfide on the right side. As a result, we see that silver is now 4 on the right side of your equation. So the last step would be to balance silver on the left side. So we simply get rid of this 2 and turn this into 4. So now everything is balanced. Therefore, this is your balanced chemical equation for silver sulfide. Now, moving on to part B, if the reaction were used intentionally to prepare silver sulfide, how many grams would be formed from 496 grams of silver, 80 grams of hydrogen sulfide, and 40 grams of oxygen? So this question does not tell you what the limiting reactant is. Therefore, you need to go ahead and look for the limiting reactant, because the amount of limiting reactant would dictate how much of your product, so in this case it would be silver sulfide, will be produced. So you start off by listing all of your reactants, which is 496 grams of silver. You have 80 grams of hydrogen sulfide. There's 40 grams of oxygen. So everything is in units of grams. Therefore, we need to get to moles in order to use stoichiometry based on our chemical equation. So in order to get to number of moles, you need to use the molar mass. So the molar mass of silver is 107.87 grams. And that's 1 mole of silver. For hydrogen sulfide, we have 34.08 grams. That's 1 mole of hydrogen sulfide. And for oxygen, that's 32 per 1 mole of oxygen. So now everything is in moles, therefore we can go ahead and use stoichiometry based on our chemical equation from part A, right here. So we see that for every 4 moles of silver, we need 2 moles of silver sulfide. And then for hydrogen sulfide, we need 2 moles of hydrogen sulfide for every 2 moles of silver sulfide. Lastly, for oxygen, we need 1 mole of oxygen for every 2 moles of silver sulfide. So since we're looking for grams for silver sulfide, we need to use the molar mass of silver sulfide. So we know that it's 247.8 grams of silver sulfide. So we're placing moles in your denominator in order to cancel out moles over here for silver sulfide, and we get grams of silver sulfide as a result. So for here, for the first part for silver, if we have 496 grams of silver, we would get 5.69 times 10 to the power of 2 grams of silver sulfide. And for hydrogen sulfide, if we have 80 grams to begin with, we would get 582 grams of silver sulfide. Lastly, for oxygen, we would get 619 grams of silver sulfide. So looking at our result, we see that the lowest amount of silver sulfide that is produced is 5.69 times 10 to the power of 2 grams. Therefore, we can say that silver will be our limiting reactant. And as a result, you would get 5.69 times 10 to the power of 2 grams of silver sulfide that will be produced. That's it for now, guys. I hope this clarified everything, and I'll see you on my next class. Again, this is Janine the Tutor. Bye, guys.